That was one hell of a paddle out. I am properly frightened right now. Some locals are joining, which makes me feel a little better, but I'm still properly shitting my pants now. Some sets are absolutely monstrous. For me, it's a solid 8 to 10 feet, and some of them break wide, and you just can't escape them. If you fall on one of these, and then you take the head on the set on the head, sorry, I'm already gassed. You're oh my gosh. Holy cow. No, I can't catch that. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm dead. I'm dead. I am proper dead. Holy oh my gosh, how am I gonna surf that?
Yeah, that pretty much sums up this entire session. This was, by a large margin, the most uncomfortable session of my life, especially at the very beginning because I was the first guy out. That day wasn't about performance. My only goal with this session was to challenge myself, step out of my comfort zone, and let me tell you something, that was a big step that I took. Making the paddle out on my first try was already a huge win for me, but I quickly realized that it was actually the easy part, because I was now facing waves that were way bigger than anything I had ever surfed, and in a spot I wasn't particularly familiar with too, so that made me feel really uneasy, as you could probably tell with the intro. I've kept all of my paddle attempts in this video because, let's be honest, I didn't catch many waves. I really had to build up to my first wave that day. I started way out on the shoulder trying to catch the bigger waves that were breaking wide, just like that one. But the only way this was going to work is if I was also sitting way more on the inside, where this wave broke, for example. But that was a very dangerous place to be because any bombing set could easily wash me straight into the rocks. So I was pretty much sitting in a spot where it was very difficult for me to catch any wave.
Jesus Christ. It's okay, it's not super hollow, but it's so big. It's way bigger than the biggest waves I've surfed in my life. And I'm being pushed to the peak. And I don't want to. I would like to surf the inside because I don't have the balls for the peak. We'll see how that goes.
And this is what it looked like at the peak. Absolutely terrifying. The locals who had just paddled out were catching the first wave, and it showed me that the takeoff spot wasn't that bad. It was steep, but nowhere near as bad as it was closer to the cliff. So I timidly started paddling a little deeper. You can tell how scared I was by the way I was paddling towards the shoulder, and I missed so many good waves because of that. This one, for example, had I not paddled towards the shoulder, I would have been in the perfect spot to catch it, but even then, I would still have to commit to the takeoff. On this next wave, for example, you'll see that I was in the perfect spot, but at the last second, I hesitated and pulled out. So you won't get to see a lot of waves from me in this video, but because I was sitting wide most of the time, I got to watch everyone else on their wave, and I wanted to share that with you guys because I think watching better surfers and trying to learn from them when the conditions are too big for you is quite a relatable experience.
Oh my god. Well, 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 well.
I feel like my wave selection was definitely on point during that session though. All of the waves I paddled for had a nice shape and stayed open for a long time, but I still only caught 2 waves to be exact. It's pretty humbling sharing this experience on YouTube, but I've done it a few times already and it's always been well received. So I feel like it is important that I stay true to the process and keep being transparent even when it feels uncomfortable to do so. Anyway, look at this absolute mutant rolling through, and let me tell you that this type of wave is exactly why I really did not want to paddle to the peak.
Oh my gosh. Oh, triples. Oh my god. How many times did that one spit? Oh, that's insane. There's a lot of water movement. If you don't have the right volume, you're just going to get out of that wave and take the next waves on the head. But these guys have plenty of volume. I can't speak. I'm so frightened. Oh, that's my guide. Oh my gosh.
I've included a lot of waves from the other surfers for you to really get a feel for what the ambience was like on that day. The lineup was so respectful and super cheerful, which is very different to what I had experienced on the more mellow days. I feel like big conditions like these really shut the egos down and bring people together. It was actually quite nice to be a part of that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
That was my guide on his second wave of the day. I have intentionally not named any of the spots in my recent videos, and that's out of respect for him and his work. If you are interested in discovering a less crowded area of Morocco, I would be more than happy to link you up with him. Just reach out to me via Instagram or by mail. This local kid was absolutely killing it. If I had to pick one person who made me feel bad about myself out there, it would be him, no hesitation. He must have been 16 and was just gracefully dropping into the biggest waves on his tiny shortboard. Not only that, but he was also surfing them beautifully, as you can see. It was truly inspirational to watch. and yet another paddle attempt down the drain. Initially, I was in the perfect spot, so my guide cheered me onto that one, but once again, I paddled towards the shoulder when I should have just paddled straight in and missed the wave because of that. And this wave was perfect. Not too big, but still enough to break all the way through. It really hurts watching how perfect all of the waves I paddled for actually were, and how close I was to catching the biggest waves of my life. And every time I would start feeling more comfortable, a monster set would roll through and reset my anxiety back to its maximum.
God.
That guy right here actually played a big role in this session for me. He was riding a 5.6 toothpick, yet unlike me, he was at the peak catching waves. For a while I thought my board was part of the reason why all of my paddle attempts had failed, but he made me question that, because he didn't seem to have any problem catching those waves. While me, on the other hand, I was really struggling.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Oh!
See, I wasn't holding back on my paddle attempts at all, yet I was still unable to catch any waves. And again, the waves I was paddling for all had a really good inside section, so my wave selection wasn't the problem here. The only problem I had was my positioning. Look at how far on the inside I was sitting in this next clip. Sure, I was enjoying the view, but I was never going to catch anything there. And I really paid for being too far in when this set rolled through. Looking at this footage truly was eye-opening for me. This wave, for example, it was so hollow on the outside, yet where this guy caught it, it was pretty mellow. It's easy to see it now, but in the heat of the moment, all I could focus on was the outside section, the scary part.
Oh, that's my wave.
After missing 2 consecutive paddle attempts because I was once again too far in, I decided that I've had enough. All of the waves I was paddling for were good waves, but they were breaking too mellow where I was sitting for me to realistically catch any of them. It just wasn't going to work. So I finally made up my mind and moved out towards the peak. That wave was nuts. So you can see I'm already closer to the pack now. I'm nowhere near the peak, but I'm sitting in a much more favorable position.
Oh my gosh.
And this shift in positioning allowed me to finally catch my first wave. After over an hour and a half and with 12 paddle attempts under my belt, it was about time that I flipped the script. Well, that wasn't exactly well surfed, but I was so happy to finally catch a wave. Was it a bomb? Absolutely not. Was it one of the smallest waves ridden that day? Probably, but that was a massive win for me. This wave was all I needed to completely eliminate the fear. I realized that this wave was well within my skill level and that my emotions had made me make it a way bigger deal than it actually was. So I paddled straight back out, determined to turn this session around.
Oh yeah. That was a sick turn.
Most of the locals had paddled in at this point, so the peak was more accessible than ever. I was paddling back out with my newly found confidence, and that's precisely when the ocean decided to snap me back to reality. That was the biggest cleanup set of the day, and just when we cleared it, another wave rolled through. Just as big, just as mean. So I quickly went from I'm going to catch so many more waves to I'm catching one more wave and then I'm good.
Holy.
This was my second and final wave of the day. Again, not the best wave. The second next one looked a lot better, but this one felt like a wave I could tackle. Paddling in after that wave, I couldn't help but think that I had just wasted a whole session making a big deal out of perfectly manageable waves. I was trying to convince myself that this session was a win. I mean, I challenged myself, stepped out of my comfort zone, and even caught 2 waves. But to be completely honest with you, to this day, I still feel like I left a lot on the table. I wanted to share this experience with you because we all find ourselves challenged at some point, and it's easy to feel bad about yourself in those situations. So I'd love to hear about your experiences with bigger waves, how that made you feel, and what you learned from it. If you liked this video, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.